Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to make a steampunk journal, well at least the start of it. So let's get started I suppose. I have this Stamperia clockwork, is it called clockwork paper? And I thought this was the perfect paper to, clockwise, there we go. Paper to use for this journal. I want to use as many scraps as I have. So I have some cardboard, some paper bags, some papers that I had lying around. So yeah, I think we should get started on the cover to start with. I wanted to incorporate some corrugated cardboard in the cover of the journal. So that's what I'm going to get first from this piece of cardboard. And it was just an Amazon box, I believe, this one. So I'm trying to rip it off, but it works better with water, so I'm going to spray that with some water, and then I'm going to take off the front part of that paper from the corrugated cardboard and go from there. Here we have that piece of corrugation, and I'm going to tear off the sides to make it a little bit more organic looking, and sticking it on front of this piece of cardboard, which will be the front of the journal. To build up the rest of this cover of the journal, I cut the spine and the back of the journal as well out of cardboard. Just a cardboard box, the same cardboard box as I used from the corrugation, just an Amazon box. And I'm going to strengthen the spine and attach the front and the back of the book to the spine with pieces of linen or just cotton, I believe this is. This is an old cotton sheet that I coffee dyed. So what I usually do with these sheets, I hang them on my washing line, I make a solution and spray the entire sheet with it. I throw coffee at it and let that dry. So I did that to the inside of that book there, and now I'm going to do the same thing on the outside as well. I am using Fabri-Tac glue to attach the paper to the cardboard, just beginning with the spine there, making sure that is stuck down, and then attaching it to the front and the back cover. I'm working in steps so I can press down the fabric to the cardboard as best as I can and not have glue absolutely everywhere. From some Amazon box brown paper that normally comes in all these orders and Amazon boxes just to fill up the space, I'm going to scrunch this up in many times. This kind of becomes a fabric when you scrunch up paper so many times, and then it goes all nice and crinkly, and then I'm going to attach that to the cover of this journal. I'm starting with the edges, so it overlaps on the sides of the journal going on the inside. This is so that I can't see the corrugation that is on the sides of the journal anymore, because I want that all blended in. And this way it is also strengthening the book a bit. I am going to use a mixture of PVA and water. It's about a 50-50 mixture with probably a little bit more water than glue. And I just keep this in this old coffee jar, and it stays good for quite some time. I've had it in there for over a year, and I sometimes make a new solution and add that to it. And yeah, it just stays or keeps, I should say. And I always have it handy, and yeah, it's great for projects like these. And you can just use PVA school glue. I think actually that's what this is. It doesn't have to be the most expensive PVA glue, and just applying that to the journal and then putting a piece of paper down, and over that piece of paper more PVA glue. And this is what we have so far. I've covered the entire cover, and now this is the inside of the book, and I'm just going to fold over those pieces that are hanging over the side and gluing them inside of the journal. I'm not being very neatly with this because I'm going to be covering up the inside of the journal anyway with not the nice papers that I showed you at the beginning of this video. So yeah, just basically doing what I did on the outside. This is what it's looking like right now, and it is time to work on the outside of the journal, which is basically grabbing whatever I could find that looks kind of steampunky and kind of works together. So I'm going to layer all these pieces. I'm going to sped up the video from here because this was basically me trying to piece them together and see what would look best and having fun with layering them all. Then after this, I'm going to paint over it, but bear with me whilst I do my creative thing first. Then I decided I wanted a little bit more going on in the background. So I found this diamond pattern stencil, and I have some speckle that is basically all speckle, and I'm going to apply that to the stencil to give the background a little bit more dimension. So after doing that, it is actually time to attach all these pieces to the background, and I'm using mainly hot glue to attach them. My stash over the years, I've collected many keys and this little wing that you can see that was actually a charm. But yeah, the wing, various cogs and gears, and I don't think I use buttons, but there's some more keys and old brooches and yeah, just various metal bits and pieces. I think there's even a crab in there and a seahorse. So yeah, there we go. After attaching all those pieces, it is time to paint them. But before I paint, I'm going to add a layer of black Mod Podge. It's black matte Mod Podge, and it's black because I added some paint to it. You can also add ink to your Mod Podge to give it that black color. But I am adding Mod Podge because I wanted this to be really sealed in, and I wanted to have a good base layer for all the pieces and for all the pieces to be the same when it comes to painting. Then after a layer of black paint, I'm going in with blues and orange, and also a little bit of brown and copper later on. So we get that real steampunk vibe, and everything just kind of ties together this way. Here is that copper that I was talking about. This is from Viva Decor, and it is basically a colored beeswax. And I love using this. It is an old jar and it is dried up, but when you wet it with water, it's reactivated. And I love using this on projects like this. Then I have this Lindy's Moon Mist Spray, and it comes in powder form in this bottle, and you activate it with warm water. And then you shake the bottle and you have glittery spray, and it looks kind of bluish turquoise, and I really enjoyed using that on this cover. Now, going on to the inside of this journal, I really wanted to use the cover of this clockwise paper pack. You can see the the Stamperia logo in the middle and at the bottom as well, and the dimensions of the cardstock. But there are some nice images on there too. So I'm going to use those as pockets for or basically flip open, kind of flappy tabs for the inside of the covers of the journal, and the part where it says clockwise and just underneath that, I'm going to stick that down so you won't even see that, and the inside of the paper is just a normal scrapbook paper, as you can see there. So yeah, let me just work on that and then I'll show you the final result. Basically fold one flap down, then line it up with the journal, and then fold down the other flap so it kind of overlaps each other, and that is how I make those two little doors on the inside. So not too much measuring, not too much cutting, just kind of eyeballing it. With a corner clipper or corner punch, I'm going to round out those corners just to give it a bit more of a rounded out look and finished look. And yeah, then I'm going to move on to the background of the inside of the journal. I think this teal paper will work with the pocket or the flaps on the front there. I'm just going to trim that to size and glue that inside. Now, when you're doing this, you don't need the entire piece of paper behind that piece that you've already cut out, because you won't be able to see it and it just would be wasting paper. So I just cut out that small piece that sits at the top there and then sticking that down. And then on top of that, I will put those little that door element there. So this is the top part. And then this is that bottom part with the two doors that just goes over that. Then here we have to look at the final journal. Well, at least the cover of it. I still need to make the inside pages. And this is what the cover looks like. And on the inside, you can see I made some closures with some rivets or eyelets, I should say. And they are just two stuck on top of each other with an eyelet through it. And then a piece of string that opens the doors like so. I hope you enjoyed this video. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!